Hi, everyone, and welcome to our webinar series. I hope you all can hear me. I'm happy that you were able to join me today. My name is Martina, and I'm Customer Success Manager here at Mediatoolkit. In each webinar during this series, we will focus on one part of the tool features. Today, that will be setting up your account for more targeted monitoring. When starting to track a new query, sometimes you get a lot of irrelevant results and you might conclude that the tool is not helping you at all. In fact, it takes a lot of your time to scroll down and search for relevant mentions in your feed. Or you are missing some mentions, but you don't know why. This is where today's webinar can help you. I will show you how to connect your keywords to define a specific context of mentions, how to use Boolean operators for more targeted tracking, and how other filters can help you to specify your search. At the end, I will show you how you can easily invite more users to your account, and if you wish, limit their access to a specific folder. Before we start, just to add that we will have 10 minutes at the end for answering your questions. Feel free to send questions as we go, and you can send them through chat, and I will address them at the end. Okay, let's start. So we are logged into Mediatoolkit account. On the left side, we have folders and queries. Let's go first through some basics and see the difference between folders and queries. So the folder would be here, for example, my company, key people, and brands. Folders are here simply to help you organize the queries. And under one folder, we can have one or more queries. For example, here we have 2 queries, here we have 3, and here 1. On the left bottom side, you can see how many queries you are currently using and how many queries you have according to the plan you subscribe to. With each plan, you have a limited number of queries and limited number of mentions. Number of mentions are being counted from the first until the last day of the month. Mentions would be everything that you see here in the feed. So it would be all website articles or posts from social media that were selected according to your setup and filters. Okay, now let's start with adding something for monitoring. I can choose to add a query or a new folder. I can add a query into a new folder or add to one of the existing ones. I will go now with adding a new folder, and I can see at the beginning that I have the system offers me some names for the folder. But in this case, I will choose a different name and I will call it events. Let's say I'm organizing an event, for example, Christmas market in Zagreb. And I want to track who is mentioning it outside of Croatia. I want to see in which country it's most popular, who is writing about it, what is the reach of those mentions, potentially find influencers, and arrange collaboration with some sources. At the beginning, I can choose to add keywords and phrases or sources. I will show you both options today. Both options, but we will start with adding keywords and phrases. Okay. Here I can add something that I want to monitor, and in this case, it will be Christmas market. I can now think and see, okay, are there any other variations of mentioning my event? Could media use some other words? And I will say yes, I believe Advent would also be a good option. I will also add Christmas time. Okay. Then I will click next. And the tool is asking me if I want to refine my search, if I want to give the context to my keywords and phrases. So since I don't want to track a Christmas market for any city, I want to track it specifically for Zagreb. I will enter here the word Zagreb. I will also add this asterisk sign, which means if your language has cases, like Croatian language does, for example, that it will include all variations of the word according to cases. So in Croatian, that would be Zagreba, Zagrebom, Zagrebu, and so on. And I will, press enter. Here, I also have some options that I can choose. If I click here, I can mark that I want to track this phrase as case sensitive. What does this mean? It means that if I want to track a Zagreb in a specific way as I entered it, which would mean here with the capital letter Z. If I don't choose this option, it means I will have the results when Zagreb is mentioned with small letters, big letters, it's not relevant. And for me, I want not to be relevant, so I won't use this option. Here you also have a possibility to select if you want to monitor your keyword only when it is mentioned in the title or in the description or text. But by default, you will see it from all the sections, and this is something I want to as well. So I won't use these filters at this moment. Okay, here we also have an option to add excluded keywords. So for example, I don't want to see mentions when someone is publishing that they are leasing their apartment during Christmas time in Zagreb. I will add apartment here as excluded keyword. I also added this asterisk sign because by doing that, I included the plural of this word as well. So if someone mentions apartments. Okay, I have added all the keywords I believe that I need. And I have also an option to switch from this basic version of setting up keywords by clicking this on these advanced settings. And all of these keywords will be, let's say, translated into Boolean operators. I will just put this at the end so you can see more clearly. Okay, so this is a setup with keywords that I already used, but just shown differently. Here you have already some Boolean operators that would be and, or, and not. And there are more operators that can be used, and they are shown here on the right. And you can see on the list and the explanation what they are for and how you can use them. Okay, so in this setup, I will receive articles even if Zagreb and one of these keywords or phrases is mentioned in the text, even in a way if Zagreb is at the beginning of the text and one of these keywords is at the end. If I want to narrow down that a bit, I will use an operator near, and I will add a number that I believe would be correct. And this number represents the number of words that can be in between Zagreb and one of these phrases. So I put the operator near 3. It crossed my mind that maybe some of the sources will use hashtags for my event. So I believe it will be okay to add those combinations as well. So you can use hashtag or simply without, just only adding the word, but let me put the hashtag just to be more clear. Okay, so I believe my setup is correct, and I will move to the next filter options. I will click next. Here I have an option to choose a language if I want to track a specific one, or I can choose to track all the languages but exclude some of them. It is the same for location, and this is the filter I will use for these purposes. So for example, I can add the countries that I want to monitor, like United Kingdom, France, Germany. But in this case, since I want to track all the countries besides Croatia, it is enough to simply exclude Croatia here. So I will remove these countries here and just exclude Croatia. If we go further, we have a filter that is called authors. It is something that offers you that if you want to track some specific author in a way that he is signed in web articles, or to exclude some of those authors. You also have a filter that is called influence score. So all of the sources that we monitor, like all the websites and social media profiles, have their influence score from 1 to 10. Influence score is showing how influential is a specific source. So, for example, the influence score from 1 to 3 would mean that the website is local, that they have a small audience, like regional or local websites, yes. The influence score between 5 to 8 would mean that the website has a national audience. The biggest influence score, 10, would mean that there is a global audience. That would be like BBC, CNN, or Oprah Winfrey's profile on social media, and so on. So I can move slider here, let's say from 5 to 10, if I want to include only the mentions from the sources that have a bigger audience. But in this case, I will leave it here at the 0 because I want to include everything. Here you also have a sentiment filter. So you can choose if you wish to receive only positive, neutral, or negative articles or posts. This is an automatic sentiment that the system is marking according to positive and negative words in the text. So since it is being done automatically, it is not 100% correct because the system cannot simply recognize sarcasm or irony, but it is 75. It is correct approximately in 75%. Okay, I will move here also to next options of filters. And here I have an option to select which sources I want to track. So for example, I don't want to check Facebook, but I want to check Twitter, Instagram, and everything else. For each source, you have an option to, if you click here, to monitor all profiles. For example, all Instagram profiles, all Twitter profiles. This is by default. But you can use an option to determine only specific profiles that you want to track, or to track everything except some of the profiles. So here, let's say I don't want to include results from Croatian Tourist Board, and I will edit here, and I have excluded this source. I will do the same for their website, and I will monitor everything besides their page, which would be this one. So when you are specifying website that you want or don't want to track, it is advisable not to use HTTPS part or www. It is enough to use this last part of the address. Okay, I can go further and click on preview results. And here I will see what I have according to my setup. Okay. Okay, I believe this is okay. Okay, we have some YouTube videos. I'm not very interested in those. So I can simply go back here on the top to the filter I need and additionally edit it. Sorry, it would be this one, sources. And I will just turn off YouTube and go back to the preview. Okay, I believe these are the results I want. I can click next, and finally I can name my query. The system will offer you automatically that when you add a new query that the daily digests are turned on, but you can remove this option if you want and just save your query. The results in the feed will be shown for the last 3 months, but we will leave the system to load because it takes a few moments just to recalculate and show the results. Until that happens, I will move to the next example. Let's say I have an organization that I have organized a collaboration with a certain media outlet. And here it would be, for example, a Daily Mail from UK. And I organized with them to publish my event on their website and their social media profiles. It can be some other examples if you have a collaboration with some influencer. So I will choose here, add new query, and then I will choose this option, sources. Here I can determine specific source I want to track. So I want to track a specific Facebook page, which is dailymail.co.uk, specific Twitter profile of theirs. You can simply add a handle from the Twitter profile or Facebook page, or just start to write the name of the profile. And the system will offer you the suggestions, and then you click and select the one you need. Let's do the same for Instagram. Okay, I select this. I don't need YouTube, Reddit, Be Contacted, TripAdvisor, but I want to monitor their website. So I will add it like this. And also turn off these other sources. If I go further, the system will ask me if I want to track some keywords specifically from those sources. Here you have an option. You don't need to add anything here, and that would mean that you will receive all mentions from the website you entered for monitoring and social media profiles when they post anything new. So it is regardless of the keyword, you will receive all their new mentions and posts. Here, I will, for these purposes, I want to track something specifically, and I will add Zagreb. But I can go further, and the system is asking me if I want to refine my search and if the mention has to contain something else. And I will add yes. I don't want only the mentions when they post something about Zagreb. I want when they are posting something, about a Christmas market in Zagreb. Okay, I don't want to use any excluded keywords. I can go further. And here we have other filters, but I don't need to use them because I have set up specific sources that I want to track. I go to preview. Okay, we already have some results. That's great. And now I will be notified when they publish something new. Okay, I will save my query. I want to be notified, so I will have turn on these daily digests and click save. Examples here were shown for the event, but they are applicable to anything else you wish to monitor, like your company, brands, competitors, and so on. So for the third example, I will show you if I'm working for some company, how can I monitor something specifically? For example, if I'm working for Samsung and I want to see reviews on new smartphones from my competitors. Let's see that example. I will start by adding new folder. Here it will offer me again the name of the folders, and in this case I want to name my folder competitors. So I will choose this and click create. Again, it is asking me what do I want to track, and I will click on keywords and phrases. Since I know that for my search I would need to use Boolean operators, I can automatically skip this part and go to to this part, refine search and advanced settings. And I can start adding keywords for monitoring here. So I will start by adding competitors like LG. Sorry, I need or iPhone or Huawei. And I will put this into brackets and connect it. So I want when either one of these competitor is being mentioned with some of the keywords that I will add in this other bracket, like smartphone or mobile phone. Just to point out, when you are using more than one word, in this advanced option, you need to use quotation marks. So for this example, I have put them for the phrase mobile phone. Or I will add tablet, let's say. Okay. So this means that when either one of these competitors are being mentioned, plus any of these keywords, I will receive those mentions in the feed. But I want to go further and narrow down the search to only new smartphones or mobile phones from this competitor, for one of these competitors. So I will add Boolean operator near, and I will add, for example, number 2 and the word new. And I will use these brackets here because I want to connect new with one of these keywords here. So between them and new, maximum 2 words can appear. So this is like some basic mathematics with brackets. So I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear for you how it works so far. Okay. I can go then to other filters, like global filters. I want to choose language here, only on English. I don't need location, I don't need this, but I want to receive only the mentions from most influential sources. So I'll put this. I will put this slider to the right to the number 6, for example. Additionally, I want to monitor only negative reviews for my competitors' new products. Okay, I can go to sources now, and I will exclude all the sources except websites. Okay, I can go then to preview. So you can click next, or you can switch between filters here on the top. Okay, I can see some results. Okay, new mobile phone cases. Okay, I don't need that. Again, okay. Okay, there are some mentions about mobile phone cases, so I can go back to keywords and add and not mobile phone cases, and then switch to preview again to see if my results are okay. I would advise to play with the filters and check your results by clicking preview before you save your query. And the saving would be advisable to use when you are satisfied with what you see in the preview. Okay, so let's say that this is something I want, that I have set up keywords and filters in a good way. I will name my query competitors as well, and I will click save. Okay. Until this folder, this query also shows some results, I can show you some. I will show you an example how you can add more colleagues to your account. This would be the last part of our webinar today. So if I click on settings and organization settings, I can see who is already registered to my account. And by clicking to invite your colleagues, I can invite more of my colleagues to use the account as well. So I will add an email. And you have an option to choose the role you want to give to the person. So the admin role would imply that the person can do anything in your account, from deleting queries, editing them, and so on. Or I can limit that and choose an option view. And it means that the person will be able only to view results, receive alerts, but the person won't be able to edit anything. So here at the bottom, you can see an explanation for each role. You can click add and then add more colleagues and so on. So I will invite my colleague Lucia. And here it says pending. It means that she will receive her invitation in the email with the link to register. Here you can also remove, if you wish, some of your colleagues, for example, if they are not working in your company anymore. Okay. We strongly believe that Mediatoolkit is a platform which can be used across the whole organization. And that is why we encourage you to add as many colleagues as you want to your Mediatoolkit account for free. You can show them your whole account or restrict the view to only some folders. And here is how you can do that. For example, I want to limit the access for the folder competitors, and I will click to this gear icon and choose sharing options. And here I will select team. And for example, I can remove Lucia from seeing competitors folder. And I will click save. Automatically, the folder has been switched here at the bottom under team folders. So all of these folders that are shared folders can be seen by anyone, but the folders under team folders are limited. Okay, so this was the last part of our webinar today. I believe we have we are approximately in 30 minutes of time. In the next webinars, we will go through reports, exporting, setting up alerts, and all other features of the tool. You will receive an invite for them as well. Now I can see that there are some questions in the meantime. So just to ask, to see what you wanted to know additionally. Oh, yes. The question is if you can change, can you change the query afterwards if something changes later? Yes, you can change the query if something changes, but have in mind that each editing of the query is like setting up a query from the beginning. So if you wish to, if the archive is important for you, then it would be advisable to set up query properly, as properly as possible from the beginning, so you don't need to do more editing. If there are some irrelevant mentions in the tool in the meantime that, for example, your setup is okay, most of your mentions are correct, but there are a few of them that you want to remove, you can just select an X here and remove a mention from the list. And it will be deleted from your feed, from reports, and from anywhere else in the tool. Okay, we have another question. How many sources can I add per query? So I believe you mean the sources specifically that we set up for monitoring. Okay, that would be, our advice would be to limit that number up to 50, so that you have 50 websites or social media profiles in total. That their number in combined is not bigger than 50. So in that case, your tracking would be smooth as it should be. Okay, I believe we don't have any more questions. If that is the case, I want to thank you for your participation. We will send you a recording of this webinar, so you can have it if you will need to show to see it again, or maybe show it to your colleagues who couldn't participate. We will do that definitely. So you don't, if you want to refresh the memory about something that was said today as well. Thank you again for your time. I hope this was useful, and see you in some other webinar. Oh, sorry, one more question. If we can delete query. Yes, let me just show you that part as well. For example, events, if I want to delete a query, you can just click here on the gear icon and select delete. You can delete the folder, the query in the same way. Okay. I believe we have answered everything. Okay. Thank you again. And we'll see you in some next of our webinars. Have a good day. Bye.